Welcome to Man Talk 133 with Charles and Darl, the movement dedicated to empowering men, uniting brothers, and building a strong coalition. This is more than just a conversation. It's a call to action. Join us as we uplift, support, and inspire men worldwide. Because together, we don't just talk, we lead, we grow, and we conquer. Are you ready to be part of the coalition? Let's dive in.
Welcome to Man Talk 133 with Charles and Darryl. What's going on, brother?
Yes, what's up, my boy? What's going on with you?
Nothing to it, man. Welcome everybody into the show, man. We appreciate you guys tapping in with us again, man. So we got like a little serious topic to talk about this week, man.
What we got, bro? What we got?
Why are our young people dying so young?
Oh man.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna just give a little bit of context of what they're saying. Why people are dying younger due to a combination of factors, including a surge in deaths from drug overdoses, alcohol-related deaths, suicide, and increase in heart disease and other chronic conditions. Additionally, some experts believe that societal issues and policy decisions contribute to these trends. So with that being said, what I just read, what do you think? Because you have a young daughter. I have a young son. You know, I got two. You know, when I say young, it's crazy because both of them young.
Yeah, in the 20s or whatever. Yeah, you know, 20s, maybe 30s or whatever.
You can't have an older son, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Like you said, man, that's crazy because like you said, you know, I was gonna ask you too, even though I was supposed to be responding to what you was asking me. But
you good?
Ain't this kind of wild, man, that so many young kids, even down in the elementary levels, or I don't know if a lot of people talking about that, but they're being diagnosed with diabetes and all this type of stuff that, you know, like we once thought that elderly people had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of, man, they're getting this, I don't know if it's environmental or what it is, but
gotta be in the food, brother. Gotta be in the food.
Yeah, it got to be, man, because I know a lot of kids, they love the McDonald's and stuff like that. You know, I guess we putting them out there like that, but I think, man, like I said, man, it's in the food, man, and like you said, you know, with the I think you saying something about the suicide rate, stuff like that.
Yeah, basically, this is the overview. So the key contributing factors when we talking about why the young people are dying so young, one of the top factors is drug overdoses, drug poisoning, particularly from opioids, has become a major driver of early deaths, accounting for a significant portion of excess deaths among young adults.
Man, that's tough, man, because they, you know, they look at that social media, you know, when you're talking about the opioids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I go, you know, it's the same arena, but I do something different because you got like a lot of kids. Because my daughter have told me this, you got a lot of kids that's her age that's vaping.
Right.
That may not kill them like, you know, like opioids or nothing like that, but I don't know what this whole trend with the vapes and the opioids and all this stuff like that come from. I don't know if it's something that they seeing like a challenge or something that's on social media or possible what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's really wild, man, that it's happening like that.
It's possible, man. I also when you talk about vaping, I think vaping it only just leads to something else, because what it does is it creates like that certain atmosphere to think it's cool. So when they see somebody else vaping, they want to vape. Now you got some vapes you can put, you know, I guess CBD oil in it. You know, so you can get high at work and people don't even know you're getting high, or getting a buzz at work and don't even know you're getting high. And then once you get immune, you and I used to drink a lot. Used to drink a whole lot. And once we drunk so much, we got immune to it. To the point that we can drink and drive. I ain't telling y'all to do this. Don't say Man Talk with Charles and Darryl said it's okay to. We didn't say that.
but we could
MBR
do it.
radio did
Yeah,
not say that. Okay.
right. But we could do it at ease though.
Yeah,
With
let me
ease.
clear that up. But we can drive anywhere we wanted
Yep.
to, because we had got so immune
Mm-hmm.
to doing it. It's the same
Yep.
thing when they start vaping. They
Mm-hmm.
start vaping and they get immune to it. What they want, something stronger. What we wanted, something stronger.
Yep.
And I think that's what kind of happens. And then now the stuff that they put inside of the drugs,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and only thing it does is it causes they can take so much it would cause drug overdoses.
Mm-hmm.
My personal
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. And man, like I said, man, that vaping is wild, man, because it's like when you're riding
Yeah.
around, the cities or towns, whatever. You notice how they got the vape shops. It's like they making them now so it's attractive.
Yeah.
Attracting the young folks. Like it got like Christmas lights and
Everything.
all kind of lights, and they got the vape shops where they got the drive-through windows and everything. Now, when I first saw that, man, that kind of tripped me out. I
Yeah.
actually seen the actual cars go around the vape shop. They lit up, like lights sparkling everywhere, and it looks so pretty, right?
Yeah.
And they got, like you said, the CB oil for sale and all the stuff like this or whatever. And people they in line just like they at McDonald's
You
in the
think about it.
drive-through line. I'm
You
like,
think about it.
that's wild.
Yeah. Now you think about this though. People ride
Mm-hmm.
during Christmas time
Right.
in lines to go see Christmas lights because it's attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Why you think they use that same setup?
Yep.
It's attractive.
You got that mind, get that mind.
Draw them right on in, dog.
I forgot what it is. It's something that like they said that with the gaming systems that'll spark something in their mental and have them addicted to the game is the games and stuff, the video games. I
Give them
forgot
a
what
good
it's called.
feeling. You talking about dopamine? Where give them that
Yeah.
good rush. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dopamine. Give them a good rush, and they
Right.
keep wanting that feeling over and over
And that's how
and over.
and that's how it is with the vape shops.
Yeah.
And then like you said, when like I said, after they vape for so long or whatever, because like I said, you got kids, man, 6th grade, 5th, 6th grade, man, they vaping. So like you said, now they looking for the next high dose of whatever gonna take them there. So that's when they lead to them opioids.
Yep.
And take them out of here.
Yep. And this is the next one is something we used to be professionals in, Doc. Alcohol related deaths. Alcohol use contributes to a variety of health problems and accidents, leading to increased mortality rates. Drinking and driving.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's the key thing. They feel like, once they get a little. You ever seen somebody, Doc, they super quiet and then they get a couple of drinks and they Superman.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And that's what happened. They get out here and start driving and they think that they can handle it. In actuality, they can't. That your depth, your perception is is off. So you think you can take this turn doing 60 miles per hour when it's only you supposed to 40 miles per hour or 25, and that's what happens.
Right, but it go back to what you said earlier. It go back to what you said earlier. See, these kids, like when they drinking, or whatever they smoking or whatever, definitely smoke moments. We use drinking since we're talking about that. When they go to drinking, a lot of them can't handle it. Like the way, like it was like you said, man talk and MBR radio ain't promoting y'all to do this, but we did it so much. We was immune to it, so we can drive from here to wherever about right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you got the new kids who ain't never had that kind of practice. If you want to use that analogy, they haven't practiced yet. So when they get their first buzz or their first couple of drinks or whatever, and then like you said, they try to fall into that curve driving. That's when you had that accident, that alcohol related accident.
Yeah, man, and that's
new people.
And that is one of the things, man, that like you said, it's they ain't immune to it. Your body can get immune to anything. You talk about Navy SEALs, some of the stuff you went through, your body and your mind can get immune to anything. It can get to a place where your body start accepting it. Where in the beginning,
Right.
You didn't accept it. Now you take people to drink. You have people been drinking, and now they can drink all day long.
Yep.
All day, wine, anything. It don't even and can go drive anywhere they want to.
Yeah, because like like I said again, I will make sure we keep saying this.
Yeah.
We not promoting this, but just like you saying back in the day, we drunk so much, you know what I'm saying, was immune to us. I mean, you remember I used to come home, I used to drive home from Norfolk, from the naval base,
Yep.
drink all the way home, hang out with the fellas, drinking with the fellas. Now I drive on back to Norfolk sometime that same night. The same
Yeah.
thing when I went to Camp Lejeune. I used to
Yeah.
drive from Camp Lejeune. You know how me and the boys used to ride home from Camp Lejeune,
Yeah.
drinking and riding back drinking. So, you know what I'm saying? Once your body get immune to it, like you were saying, you get, but like I said, we're not promoting you to do that.
Yeah, because let me be clear on what we talking about. Why
Yeah.
young people die so young. First
Mm-hmm.
one is drug overdose. Second
Mm-hmm.
one is alcohol related deaths. This third one is suicide. Mental health
Mm-hmm.
challenges and societal stressors can contribute to a rising number of suicides,
Mm-hmm.
especially among young and middle-aged adults. Young people are under so much stress because they peer pressure.
Yeah.
Hey, you ain't got the same shoes I got.
Yeah.
Hey, you I just wrote, hey, they laugh at you when they ride by your house if you got
Yeah.
broke down cars in the front yard.
Yeah. Or whatever kind of car you drive. Your
Yeah, you
mama
got
drive.
dogs running through the yard, they laughing
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah. Your mom drive this kind of car, so they laugh at. Yeah. You right.
Hey, hey bro, let's just tell this story down before we
Go
got to
ahead.
break in a couple minutes, right?
Go ahead.
So if you ain't got a strong mind,
Mm-hmm.
well, we got pretty strong minds.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we had this old car, old white Chevrolet, where you got your name from, 4 barrel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And every time we used to beg mom, hey, you can drop us off right here. She was like, no, we're gonna drop you off in front of the school. Like, no, you can drop
Yeah.
all the kids standing around, dog. It's busted, it's got black
Yeah.
rim. No, you can drop us all right. No, I'm gonna make sure
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop it. And every
Yeah.
single time, what this car would do when she drive us off, shut the door, that baby would go poop, poop, and cut off right there in front of the school every
Yeah, man.
single time. We used to be like, yo, why? Like I remember one time, man, I think she sat out there for like, it used to like, I think it was something going with the carburetor. So I
Yeah.
think you could sit there for a little while and let I
Yeah.
guess the fuel drop down and
Yeah. It was
start back
flooded.
up.
Yeah. Flooded out.
I remember one time she said
Old
that
school
probably for
people
a
know what
couple
I'm
of hours.
talking about. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
She said that one time for a couple of hours, and we were just like, yo, why you gotta embarrass us like this? Like it was, bruh, it was so embarrassing. But that didn't cause us to
Right.
want to go commit suicide.
Right.
I'm just saying it's just one, it's just I don't know what's going on with this
We
this society.
we were built different.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
definitely
you know
built
what I'm
different.
saying? We was built everybody. I think as a whole, as a society, I think in a community, everybody was built different back then.
Yeah, dog. Hey,
This
look,
day. Yeah.
we
Go
right
ahead.
up against the break, dog. So we're gonna pick up on this when we get back, y'all.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back to Man Talk
Yes,
133
sir. Yes,
with
sir.
Charles and Daryl. Hey, though, do I need to give him that little fast talking disclaimer? How they do
Yeah.
on
Yeah. Go ahead and give it to them. Drop it on them.
MBR. At MBR Man Talk 133 is not telling people to go drink, drugs, vape, none of that. We just this
Right.
is some of the reasons why young people are dying so young. This is
Mm-hmm.
what we talking about. The next one on the
Mm-hmm.
list for us, heart disease and other chronic conditions. The prevalence of
Mm-hmm.
obesity, diabetes, and other cardiometabolic diseases is increasing, leading to earlier onset of heart disease and related conditions. McDonald's,
Yep.
Burger King. Hey, I ain't trying to put y'all out there as bad companies because, hey, y'all
Yeah.
doing what companies do.
We said
Y'all
come
selling the product.
We said come to the front of the congregation.
Come on up. So we got to holler at you for a minute. I'm just saying
Yeah.
they just doing it. All right, just like anything else. We go to the
Mhm.
stores all the time, right?
Mhm.
And we go to the stores. They can't make me buy alcohol. It's just in there.
Right.
I got
But
the
you
option to buy what I want.
but you know that fast food thing, man.
Mhm.
Back in the day, it was a treat.
Yeah,
To now, but now it's like it is what it is. Like back in the day, hey, we Monday through whatever.
yeah,
Saturday, Sunday, we may got a treat, like
yeah.
at the end of the week, maybe that Saturday with some
Mhm.
fast food or something like that. But now it's an everyday thing because back in the day, everybody, that's why I said, it's a societal thing or whatever, or a generational thing. Well, however you
Mhm.
want to use it. Cause see, back in our generation, we ate what mom and grandmom cooked.
And that's it.
And then, if you lucky on the weekends, you might get something from Hardest or something like that. But other than that,
Maybe.
you won't get in that. But see, now it's and that's where you're talking, that's where that diabetes and that heart disease and stuff kick in there when you talking about the Burger King and the McDonald's and all that. Cause now they just go, pull up to the drive-through any day of the week, any time of the week. Here, take these chicken nuggets and be quiet for the kids.
24 hours a day, some
You
of
know what
them.
I'm saying? So that's what it is now, man.
And then they get obese because they don't
Yep.
go out the house. They play video games all
Yep.
day. Now let me say this. Not all of them play video games
Right.
all day long. But what I'm
Mhm.
saying is they don't get outside and get active. Back in
Not
the
like we
day,
did.
when they tell you don't come back in here until I call you. And it
Yeah.
may be, 11, 12 o'clock. They call you back in, get you something to
Yeah.
eat, and you get back out and stay out.
Yeah.
And we was into something all the time, man. Now,
Yeah.
it ain't like that no more.
And see, that ain't just like people may hear comedians say that. That's real when they tell you to put your name on that cup
Yeah,
and go outside and play. And when you want something to drink, you drink out of the water hose or either that pump water.
that's it.
You got your cup. Hey, don't come back in here right now.
Hey, bro, don't know nothing about that pump.
No, they don't.
Don't
Well, I
know nothing
say,
about you pour that
that's
water
the,
in there. You got to prime it.
like I said, different, built different.
Built
We built
totally
different.
different, guy.
Yeah.
And you got societal and policy issues. Now, this
Mhm.
one is key. This is a key one.
Mhm.
Factors such as poverty and lack of access to health care and
Mhm.
unequal distribution of resources can um, cause health problems and contribute to to shorter life expectancies. For example, if your child wilding and they different, and so
Mhm.
they go hanging out with somebody, they mess around, get into some bad drugs or something.
Yeah.
Don't act like they ain't different.
Mhm.
Go take them. And sometimes, man, you know what? It ain't even the lack of.
Right.
It's just the people not wanting to go because they think that people gonna call their kids crazy. Hey,
Crazy.
it's
Yep.
what it is. If he
Yep.
a little off, he a little off.
Yep.
Get
You
them
got
the
to
help they
address it.
need.
Yeah, you got to address it, man. And,
Ye-
ain't no shame in it. You got to, it is what it is,
Yeah,
Everybody ain't built the same. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
man. But that's the thing, though. Everybody, they so shame. Like,
Mhm.
hey, my kid, they know the child could be artistic or anything
Mhm.
else, but they
Mhm.
don't want to address that. They want to
Right.
overlook it, and
Right.
that shortens their life expect
Mhm.
because they don't know they can do something detrimental to them to their own self.
Right. And little that they don't know, man. Little that they know is when you got parents like that,
Hmm.
if they go ahead on and address that situation, they'll get mad respect
Yeah,
for doing it. Like say, like, if you got a kid or a child or whatever, like, look, hey, my kid, we got that, and they got like you said, autism,
yeah,
so we trying to get the right help, we trying to, tap in with some programs and, make his or her life easier and stuff like that. People look at you, they'll respect you more versus you trying to hide it.
yeah, man. And
Then
this.
that'll help other people. They see you doing it, like, well, man, maybe it ain't too bad to go get some help. Then
Exactly.
some people go get help. They'll see other people doing it, they'll do it instead of being ashamed about it.
Exactly, man. And this is an old one, man, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's still, I guess, reign true. The COVID pandemic and its associated healthcare disruptions have
Mm-hmm.
also played a role in the decline of life expectancy, especially in areas with higher rates of
Mm-hmm.
infection. Now, what they're saying in this is that um, if you go into any hospital right now,
Mm-hmm.
due because of COVID, they
Mm-hmm.
still short of nurses and
Right.
people that play these critical roles. Because
Mm-hmm.
once COVID hit, a lot of people didn't even want to go back to work.
Yeah.
And now when you go into these places, you trying to get the proper health care, and if they rushing you out because they don't have the manpower or woman power,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to call it, power
Right.
to get it done, guess what? They're going to rush you out. They miss
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and then guess what? It shortens your life, not yours, but somebody's
Right.
life expectancy.
And another thing too, man, about that when you said about that COVID with the workforce. See, the COVID wiped out a lot of the workforce, or either they disabled. Well, you can still say wipe them out. What I mean by wipe them out, they killed a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them, the older people that was in the workforce,
Mm-hmm.
or either they became disabled and they couldn't go back. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where the shortage came in at too. And then the younger crew that was actually beginning to work, they after the COVID, they had to get thrusted into the workforce, and
Yeah.
they really don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't have time to learn a lot from the older ones that was already in the business, because they got killed off or disabled, whatever, they couldn't work no more.
Right. Right.
So now this when you run into the people that's working in these places like that with the attitudes, and they
Yeah.
don't want to help you, and hurry, like you said, hurry up and get on out of here or whatever. That's when you run into those kind of people now, because they was like they probably fresh in the workforce, and they wasn't expected to be thrusted into the situation that they in, because like I said, the COVID, they wiped out a whole lot of workforce, whether they
Right.
killed
And
them, whether they died, or they disabled and couldn't go back to work.
that's what I was about to say. A lot of some of the reasons why you know based on the COVID pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of young people lost parents.
Yep.
They lost,
Yeah.
brothers and sisters and favorite
Mm-hmm.
aunts and uncles and cousins, and that caused them to go into these downward spirals where they started drinking and started smoking and they started
Mm-hmm.
doing drugs. And like some kids, they don't if like I haven't done any hard drugs, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you, I don't
Right. Me
know.
neither. Yeah, me neither.
But for us, we knew when we were drinking that our max was when we started getting nauseous and everything started spinning, right?
Yeah.
But these drugs they got now, they make them feel so good that
Right.
they don't know what they max, and they just keep going, and then they overdose and
Yeah.
mix it with something else, and then before you know it, guess
Mm-hmm.
what? They in
Right.
these places where drug overdose,
Mm-hmm.
alcohol, you out there driving drunk because you don't know. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And this was killing these young people off. And go ahead, you got something. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going. I didn't know if you was getting ready to go to break or not, but I
Oh
was
no,
going to
not yet.
address
I got you.
something. Yeah, I was going to address something with their COVID, when you was talking about how the kids, or they lost parents,
Yep.
and then they take on drugs and stuff
Cope
I
with it.
guess, yeah, cope with it, self medicate.
Yep.
But if you really think about it, it is bad. It's as bad as what it is. It is what it is. But it ain't no excuse or whatever. But the COVID was a time, man, was so bad. Luckily, we were blessed that we didn't have to do this. But I know a
Uh-huh.
lot of people that had to do this. Like when their parents died or their grandparents died, it was
Mm-hmm.
like they couldn't even have a funeral.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
they had to, I guess, graveside no more than 5 to 6 people, stuff like that or whatever. So it was kind of like it was a real weird or world changing event
Yeah.
when it hits. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people, that's probably a lot of people, they kind of gravitated to that self medication, man. 'Cause that was wild. Luckily, we were blessed that we didn't have to do none of
Yeah,
that.
man. For real. And
You
like you
think
said,
like
man,
you couldn't like 5 people. like they pass a day and then they bury them tomorrow, and it was like
Yeah.
5 or 6 people can only show up to the grave site,
If that.
stuff like that. If that, you know what I'm saying? So it was like weird, you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah. It was a bad situation, man, and
yeah,
a lot of them didn't get to grieve,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and they still dealing with that side of it,
Mhm.
and guess what? They still won't go get the help that they need,
Right. That's what I'm saying.
and that all is doing is snowballing because they self-medicating with
Mhm.
the drugs or whatever it is they doing, man. But hey, we're right up against this break, y'all. We'll be right back to
Right.
finish this thing up.
Cast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Back to Man Talk 133
Sir.
with Shaw and Daryl. What's happening, my people? We
Yes,
back,
sir.
we back. All right, so we was talking about before we went to break. You were saying something about the
Workforce.
COVID-19, the workforce, and how they didn't get to grieve and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Kids.
the kids, didn't get to grieve. So I'm gonna go
Mhm.
into some numbers
Mhm.
of why it's so difficult. Yeah, I got how you online, you got people call you, you know what I'm saying? So
Every time you do a live, somebody call you, right?
yeah, just about, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So all right, so it is difficult to give a single percentage for how many young people die young,
Mhm.
as it depends on how young is defined. We know how young is defined. Young people is young people. I know some
Mhm.
people say if they 60 years old, anybody under them is young.
Right.
We get all that. All right.
Yeah.
However, it is clear that the mortality rates in younger people in the U.S. are higher than in any other income. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me rewind that, y'all.
Rewind.
Yeah, rewind. However, it is clear that mortality rates for young people in the United States are higher in many other higher income countries, and death rates are on the rise for some age groups. Give you an example.
Mhm.
Here are some detailed breakdowns. Infants and young children. Infants are at the highest risk with 56.6 higher than 15 to 19-year-olds. Why do you think
Infants?
that? Infants, yeah. Why do you think that?
Probably the parents.
I would say so too. And then not just the parents, I would probably say more so, they're more fragile. Like, they
Yeah.
have more like things that could happen, or
Yeah.
like somebody could drop them, which
Right.
is a parent. But
Yep.
they got like the what them things they can have that cause them the jerds, where they got the
Yeah.
flaps
Yeah.
don't work,
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I guess the reason why I say the parents, because I think that's at an all-time high too. I don't know what the numbers look like, but when you got these young parents, they can't
Yeah,
cope.
man.
They can't cope, man, and they beating these babies, man. And I'm just looking at them like when you see it in the news and stuff, and I'm like, how do y'all like? But I know they probably on drugs or something, because I'm like, how do y'all do that? You know what
Right.
I'm saying? This society, man, these young kids, this young group that's having these kids. You supposed to love them babies, man. Like, how do you just like beat a baby like that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
They
saying?
don't
This,
know, bro.
yeah, it's wild, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They don't know, man. And then the thing is that, like I said, man, they it's one of the things where they probably don't know their own strength, so they can
mhm,
hit. Now, some of them, let's just be
right,
clear, dog. Let's clear the air.
right.
Some of them,
Hmm.
they mean what they doing.
Oh yeah.
Because, like you said, they could be on drugs, or they could
Hmm.
be high, or they could, whatever
Hmm.
the case is. But some
Hmm.
of them mean to do it because they get to the place where they stressed,
Hmm.
and once you get a young person stressed and this problem,
Yeah.
what they perceive as a problem, ain't going nowhere.
They
So
can't
what you
handle
think they gonna do? try to eliminate the problem.
Yeah, they can't handle it. They ain't got that. Even though I ain't gonna, even though they wasn't working, but I'm gonna use it. They don't have that. You probably got a better word for it than me, but they don't have that like that work ethic, like
No,
you
you're
know
right.
what I'm saying. To handle that, to handle that problem, like cause these young people, let's say in their 20s, going into their 30s, they was always coddled.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They was like the PlayStation babies or whatever you want to call them, Sega Genesis, whatever. So they was coddled.
Yep.
So
True that.
they don't. So now their parents, they are parents themselves. So they don't know how to, like I said, use the work ethic like we did in raising our kids. They don't know how to use their work ethic because they was always coddled. So when they see the problem, like you said, they don't know how to handle the problem. They just try to get rid of it.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
They try to do, get rid of it.
Yeah.
And they don't think rationally because I think they
Right.
said 24 is when you're that frontal lobe, 25 or something, when this is fully developed. So if you're 18 or 19, they don't really think it all the way through. It's not a real solid thought process. They just think, well, if I can get rid of this problem, and I'm probably not gonna get caught because it's my baby. It ain't gonna catch me, or it ain't gonna do nothing to me because it's my baby.
And that's
if
why
I get rid of this problem.
Right. And that's why, in my opinion, that's why I think that is more and more and more. If you take notice of it, I know you have. If you really take notice of it, that's why it's more and more and more and more grandparents and great grandparents usually is stepping in or babysitting or keeping these kids, even though it's not their responsibility. They probably see the problem, like they probably see that they can't, their kids or their grandkids can't handle that
True
problem.
that.
So by them being old school parents like we were and like mom them was, they can handle those kids. You know what I'm saying? They can handle the crying, and what they need, they can tolerate that. But these young kids can't do that. That's probably why you see a lot more grandparents or great grandparents that's actually keep, because there's a lot of them that's doing it, and they're actually keeping their grandkids or their great grandkids now. Not keeping them like, as in the parent is out of their life, but I'm like they're babysitting them or they keeping them or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
All the time,
yeah, all the time, yeah.
I agree. And then the next section, man, set is adolescence in the U.S. 58.9% deaths per 58.9 deaths per 100,000 adolescents aged in between 15 to 19 years old occur each year. That's a high rate, dog.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
that's an extremely high rate, man, for it to be like that. But check this out, though. Young adults 25 to 44, which I won't try to go that high, but I'm gonna just get the numbers because they gave them. Mortality rates for young adults have been rising with an excess death rate 70% higher than expected in 2023.
Man, you said from 25 to 44?
25 to 44. That's that range. Hey, it had a 70%. Well, yeah, that high because it was 70% higher than expected.
I would have thought there was like I guess because I see it a lot, hear of it a lot. I would think more of it would be more of the high schoolers.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Right, but that's
not infants.
Right. I would think it'd be like the high school / middle school, high school. I would have said the 11, 12 to the 24 range, 23-year-old range.
Yeah. Not 25 to 44.
But you saying 25 to 44 is like a wow.
Yeah, man. It was 70% higher than what they expected in 2023.
Man.
That's that age, man, where they trying to figure it out. But there's also that age where they do a lot of partying and use a lot of exotic drugs.
That's
and do a lot of drinking and driving, and doing a lot of crazy stuff, which I'm about to get into that right now. You're going to be like, you're going to say the same thing I said. Now, let me read this one first. The leading causes of death for young people, injuries including motor vehicle accidents. We talked about that, suicide and homicide are significant factors. Folk getting smoked out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Basically, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this what I said. I said, young people,
Mhm.
why? Why? Factors contributing to higher death rates, risk-taking behavior. Young people are more likely to engage in risky behaviors like driving under the influence,
Yep.
using drugs, and engaging in violence.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons, one of the major reasons why this risk taking. You know how when they go on, stand on this ledge and take a picture and take a video for try to jump from one building to the other one.
Man, and then like you said, people, they get so now is an all-time high now. People running from the police, like they'll
Yeah.
let the police stop them, and then police come up to the car, they take off, or either they see the police parked there and they gonna run past them running about 110 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, risk takers. You know what I'm saying? So,
Risk taking behavior, man, and that right there is one of the main reasons why they have a high death rate. I mean, it's crazy. If y'all think young folks, y'all think y'all can get away with that, it ain't happening. I'm telling you that right now. And we
man,
also